with all this charade and electoral, shenanigans happening in Nigeria right now, and the hardship they have imposed on the people, I choose to, make a little mockery or a little, truths about Nigeria, which people don't normally, politicians or if you want to be politically correct, you don't use them. Because people will say, hey, you don't have evidence, where are the evidence and all that. But there is evidence everywhere if you look around. So listen, I have to give thanks to give credit, or rather, to Ini Akpan, who put this down that I'm going to read for you. That either you laugh about it or you can take it serious, because they are all truth. It says, the way we are. Give the Nigerian in INEC a chance and he will cheat. What happened in Osun elections was not the failure of beavers. It was the INEC official who manned the machine that manipulated the machine. It was even worse that INEC officials at the very top tried to further cover up the initial manipulation by coming up with warped synchronized report. All these manipulations can be traced back to pecuniary benefits, nothing more. The banker sees the currency redesign as his own opportunity to cheat. The bankers are not moved or concerned about the long lines outside their bank premises, because they are focused on how they can exploit the situation to line their pockets. The guns we gave to the policemen and other security operatives have since become the authority to cheat. It has become their businesses, their shop. You have opened a shop for them, a way to make money. We are all victims of extortions at the checkpoints. You cannot teach them their jobs, otherwise you lose your life. The independent petroleum marketers and all the players in the fuel supply chain deliberately disrupt the distribution of the product to maximize their profit. The judiciary see the election season as their own season of making a kill. All manners of judgments, including the ones that cannot stand the scrutiny of a layman like me, are delivered to the advantage of the highest bidder. The media, the fourth ring of the estate in Nigeria, is now colorblind. Black is now white, depending on the size of the envelope, which is often referred to as the brown envelope. Even when Aliko Dangote insisted on bringing over more than 1,000 electricians, tradesmen from India to handle all the electrical works at his refinery, for reason we should all be ashamed of ourselves. Anybody who has built a house before knows the corner cutting and heartlessness of the Nigerian tradesmen or artisans. He will not have any qualms using 1mm cable where 2mm is required, simply because he wants to pocket a portion of the money earmarked for the job. The risk that comes with using fake or low quality materials does not prick his conscience. Both the local manufacturers and importers of fake, poisonous, and expired products like drugs into the country that have been killing people, that have been causing liver damage, kidney failures, heart stops, and many other illnesses into the country are our friends, relations, and kinsmen. Representatives of the regulating agencies who receive Ogunje is like bribe, and turn a blind eye to the fake products are Nigerians. Very religious Nigerians. You see, in churches on Sundays and mosques on Fridays. We can go on and on and on. All the agencies have been penetrated. There's none left. Everywhere is corrupt. From the roadside mechanic to the highest man in the office as the presidency. They are all corrupt all the way. You cannot trust anybody. Ironically, we are all united in the criticism of our leadership at every level without any regard to the fact that the leadership is a reflection of who we are. We are uniquely Nigerians. As the former British Prime Minister David Cameron said, that Nigeria is fantastically corrupt and impossible people, Nigeria. I will stop here. You can make anything out of this. The worst is that when you say it, a lot of people argue it. Oh, don't say Nigeria is a zoo. Don't say this about Nigeria. You have to, protrude Nigeria as a good, talk good about Nigeria. For me, there's nothing good about Nigeria. And all is because of the way it's structured, because a lot of corruption is going on and people are turning blind eye because they don't want to offend some people who really want Nigeria to be as it is. It doesn't matter as long as Nigeria is one, because they are gaining from all these corrupt practices. Are we talking about this pipelines, vandalization? People stealing crude oil. They'll bring a ship in broad daylight and fill it up with millions of barrels of oil and leave the shores of Nigeria. And when you talk about it, nobody can account for it. Or a lot of guns, ammunition coming into the country. Every part of Nigeria, there's a militia or a arms man around. Where are all these weapons coming from? It's because of corruption. So in the end, I am putting my own word and say and suggest that the best thing to happen to Nigeria will be to dissolve Nigeria and all nationality entities go their separate ways, because that's what they agreed on. If not for that agreement before in 1953, before independence, Nigeria couldn't have been staying as one. But they agreed that every zone or region should grow on their own, but still let them stay under one entity, like in Britain, like in America, like in Canada, like in every other working democracy that is not a unitary state like Nigeria. It doesn't work. They tried it in USSR, it didn't work. They tried it in Yugoslavia, it didn't work. How do you think it will work in Nigeria? The only thing keeping it, like making it like working in Nigeria is that all the other entities have been convinced that the Easterners, especially Biafrans, are the problem of Nigeria. So everybody is facing them, not knowing. But I thank God for the APC, because APC have really came and further divide Nigeria. And that thanks goes to them. And that's what it should be. Let everybody know what is at stake. There should be no victor, no vanquished, but there is victors that are vanquished. We cannot run away from it. The moment we start telling each other the truth is the moment we start living. For now, we are barely surviving. Killings everywhere. Every morning, if you look around, the press people, like I said, they are not writing because of corruption. They are not writing what is happening. Or they will write what they want you to hear, what they have been instructed to talk about. If not, people are dying every minute in Nigeria, unnecessarily. Do you want to continue like that? Continue validating this one Nigeria instead of talking, the main issue. How do we come to a consensus and make a referendum? Let people go, decide. If Nigeria should be a nation, you have to be in a consensus and live as not unitary state. They should live as a confederation. All the nations will come together, like it is in England. In the UK, England is there, Wales are there, Northern Ireland is there, Scotland is there. They are allowed to agitate if they want to leave the union. They are allowed to leave. Maybe you put it that before you leave, you have to be a referendum. All the people agree before we separate. It will be in there in the constitution. Then you live together and everybody have their own parliament. You have state police, local government police. You manage your resources and pay this percentage to the center. It doesn't matter if you are corrupt in your region, in your area. The only thing the center wants is that percentage. Bring us this percentage, because the federal government will go and evaluate what you have, and they will be monitoring it, how much you are supposed to have. If you are making so much and other states or other unions are not making that much, the federal will help. They will take from you, they will increase the percentage you're paying to help the others. And they will be in agreement, not by force, like it is now. You see? So the correct census will come out through that. The correct governance will come. The good people will come out. You see that? Because there's nothing like cheating again. You go and count animals and count them as human beings. During voting, we will go and bring people from other neighboring countries and make up this thing in order for you to win. Because if, let's say, the North, Arewa people go, Oduduwa people go, Biafrans go on their own. The three major groups like that, or maybe the middle belt, because if you look at them, they are one people. 4 nations. Then there will be 4 nations that will come together to make up one Nigeria. Even if there's a president, the president can be rotating. Your region, this will bring a president. It doesn't matter how it is. Just give us one president. It's not going to be on a voting even. This is your turn. You can vote on your region and bring us one person. The next turn will be this region. Vote you, not you and the other regions. No, bring us one. Then everybody knows that this is the president. And the turn will be going around like that. No nation is without trouble, but the trouble will be minimized. Like India was a big country comprising of Pakistan, Bangladesh, India themselves, and which other nation again? Yes, but they look at themselves and say, in 1971, and say, let us divide. We cannot be together. Pakistan is predominantly Muslims. They go on their own. Bangladesh, the same thing, 90% Muslims, they go on their own. Indian, 90% Hindu, they go on their own. Before they were together, there were always religious problems, but they divided along religious lines. Nigeria can divide along ethnic lines and religious lines too, because the Middle Belt, most of them are Christians, and the far north, most of them are Muslims, Sharia Muslims. You know, Sharia North, I call them. And in the east, most of them are Christians. It's not that the Muslims there will not be tolerated. They will have their way, but there will be less problem. Can't you understand it? Sometimes now they're making elections, they're campaigning, you can see what is going on. In the real sense of it, if it's like I explained it, Jagaban and Peter Obi should not have any, the Yorubas and Igbos should not have any rancor at all. Asking Igbos, why do you come to Lagos? Why are you coming to Lagos to live? Why do you live in Anambra State if Peter Obi have made it nice after 8 years? And you know the answer yourself. But you just want to use it. You know, you see the rottenness in Nigeria. Why are the Igbos going to the north? You know the reason why. You know it. And you know also why the northerners, the Fulanis, the headsmen are coming down south, where there's vegetation. Do you understand me? So, all these things, the questions that have answers, but still you are asking it, expecting to get another answer so that you can mock the person. So, this is very good article. That's why I read it for you to either make anything out of it. But truth remains that Nigeria is not one the way we are.